Our daughter's in the same pre-K class. So.
Thank you, everyone. Coming to order the public meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Today is Wednesday, January 7th. It's about 6 p.m. Today on the agenda we have project area variance 2025-18, area variance 2025-19. The property address is 463 Magazine Street. The applicant is Jane Glenn. It's a residential single-family medium density zoning district. The proposal is to allow for a 6-foot front yard where the maximum height and opacity permitted for the R1N district is 4 feet tall and 60% opaque. One variance to address the height was the second variance addressing the opacity. And I'm sorry, I forgot to confirm that we were live. Okay, great, awesome, thank you. With that said, I believe the applicant is here. Yeah, please come on up. Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my wife, Tricia.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. So I believe you usually have there's a PowerPoint presentation prepared and all of that. So I think we'll just have you walk us through it and do the presentation as to what is the project and how you think it meets the criteria that the board is required by law to consider in making a determination. We may then have a few questions. I believe I saw an email just now that there are a few public comments that were submitted in writing. And I don't know if there's people that will show up, but we'll take public comments, and usually we can ask questions of public comments. We ask that public comments are only directed to the board, and then the applicant usually gets a rebuttal to kind of respond to any public comments. That's the process, so go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Jay Glenn, my wife Tricia. This is our house, 463 Magazine Street. You can see the fence we put up there. The people that live next door on the other side of that fence are extremely irrational people. That's the reason why we put the fence up. Originally, we put a fence down the side of our yard between our house, and it comes across to the front of the yard. And after we did that, we've been badgered and bullied and harassed. It's been going on for years. Before the fence was there, there was a bush that was there that kind of separated between us and them, but they could see over that and through that. And when we put the fence up in the backyard, it was peaceful for a while, but then when we came to the front yard, the badgering and the bullying continued. Whenever we come out as our driveway there to get in our car, the door comes open. We've been called every vile slur you can think of. I won't even mention the words here. And it just got to the point where, we didn't want to deal with it anymore. The bush that was there, my wife was getting in her car one day to go to work, and she came out of her house and stood in front of her car and told her, if you don't cut that bush down, I'm going to cut it down. She went into the house. We brought out our deed. It's notarized and registered with the city of Albany. It's got all the measurement of our property on it, and went to show her the deed to show her that the bush was on our property, and she came to the door and told her she was going to kill her. And that was the final straw to me. So we decided to extend the fence down.
Well, we did call the police.
We called the police.
The police came and they advised us to put a fence up to the sky as high as we could.
Well, they said if I were you, I'd put up a fence.
Yes, and we did.
But we realized that, if the fence is short or is opaque, and they're still going to see through it and they're still going to harass us. Since we put that 3-section extension on that fence, it's been 1.5 years now, there's been peace.
Yes.
There's been no interaction, and it's been
very nice.
Yeah. Other than that,
but now it's starting up again.
Well, this past summer, she's got a above ground pool in her backyard, and she took a hose connected it to her pool and drained her pool into my side yard, flooded my side yard, went down over that retaining wall, flooded my garage and my basement. We had to call the police again
To stop the water.
to make her
yeah.
stop.
But that's all we did,
Yeah.
because we don't want,
Other than that, though, since we put that fence up, it's been peaceful, other than the water incident. It's been peaceful. There's no interaction.
Yeah.
They don't see us anymore. We can't see them anymore. And that's why I'm asking for the variance to keep
the fence up.
to keep it at, yeah, we just want peace. We
Yeah.
just want peace.
We
now.
just
We
want to
wanna
be left alone and just enjoy. This house that we are in, it's a family house. My husband's family has been in it since 1972. And we've all,
To answer that right there, the character of the neighborhood, I believe I took 3 pictures. I think they're in here in this PowerPoint. Before I put the fence, I went through the neighborhood and I took pictures of houses that have done the same exact thing we have. They've got 6-foot fences. Here's my neighbor across the street. They have 15-foot high arborvitaes. You can't see over them or through them.
On the left is you.
I'm on the left. That's
trees.
directly across the street on the right. If you got those other pictures, you go further up the street. And there's a 6-foot fence there separating them, just like us. And there's one more. There's a 6-foot fence right there.
that was just put up.
That was just put up this
couple
past
weeks.
summer.
Yeah.
So that,
Months.
as far as taking away from the character of the neighborhood, I'm showing that that's all within 1 block of my house, the same situation.
And there's a stop sign on our corner of our house, which you can
Right there, on
tell
the
it
left.
doesn't cause any problems with the stop sign.
Well, that
seeing
regulates
stop
the
sign.
traffic.
Yeah,
And I believe there's a question on here about the traffic
right,
in the neighborhood, and does it affect the traffic, the fence? And it doesn't.
right.
And there is a stop sign right in our front yard there. There's, we were originally gonna plant arborvitaes like the guy across the street, instead of put the fence up. And we got our deed and we measured out to the property line, and we put poles in the ground with rope, because we wanted to be inside our property and not affect them. And she came out of her house and just took the poles and the rope out of the ground, threw them in our yard. She took a can of spray paint and spray painted it right down our yard.
And that's.
Yeah, so we decided that wasn't gonna work, putting shrubs up there. And they're gonna be able to see over it, and they're still gonna be able to harass us. So that's why we decided to put up the fence.
What were the poles in that?
To mark
The property line.
the property
We
line.
wanted to plant inside our property. We wanted to be sure they were gonna be on our property, so we measured out
We
with our
brought the deed outside and then,
We measured
and
out,
then
and
we
she just
measured
pulled the poles
together.
out of the ground and threw them in our yard.
Yeah,
So
And the property doesn't go straight down. Our property goes
it's on an angle
on an
between
angle
us. It's
and
not a
she will
straight line.
not
It
accept that.
angles towards her house,
Yeah.
and she doesn't like that, but
Yeah.
that's the property line.
Every time they have called the cops on us for wellness checks last summer, with all the fence and everything. And every time the police did come, police would say to her, "You're still having this problem? You still haven't figured out your deed or, whatever?" And then it would cause even more problems because, "Oh, I see how it is. You're on their side and you're not on my side." And that happened. That's what happens. That's what's
So
been happening.
the deviation from the ordinance, I wrote here, it's only 2 feet higher, but it's the difference between them seeing us and not seeing us.
We
And
don't,
that the fence isn't opaque, which again is the difference between them seeing us and not seeing. If they don't see us, they don't know if we're out there getting in our car. They can't badger us.
we don't go out our front door pretty much anymore. We go through the garage. That way nobody sees us, And then I cook a lot. I cook all year round on the grill, and I cook in the driveway. So that way they can't, nobody can see me cooking in the driveway or come out and, say whatever, so.
Yeah, the fence doesn't impact drainage or
No,
noise or
no.
public service. It doesn't affect the traffic.
No.
Again, we have a stop sign in our front yard, so that controls the traffic. And then that goes back to what we said before. We just put the fence up. We want peace. We just want to be left alone now. We want peace. It's been going on for years, and we're just tired of it. We just really want to be left alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know when the public comments were added to the?
I think there's one from.
We don't always read them, but I personally have not read them. I don't know if the rest of the board has, so do you mind reading them? But maybe before we do that, I guess, because public comment comes after we have a discussion, so, just level setting on that process wise. And before, I turn it to the rest of the board for any questions to the applicant, I have a question for you guys, for the city. The code requirements with tall trees, how do we deal with the trees linked to the requirement? Like tall trees that are really packed like across the street, their neighbors have, is that compliant with the code or is that not compliant?
There's no height limitation or anything set up for trees.
It's private property.
And it's trees, so it's not regulated the way a fence
It
is.
does take trees longer to fill in the space and to go past.
And to grow. Okay, I was just curious. Thank you. Otherwise, any questions to the applicants?
I have a question. It's not for the applicants. Thank you. It's actually probably a question for either staff or council. I'm just trying to understand. Can you pull up a picture of their property? Because they
Like a bird's eye view or?
no, the like actual direct view. I'm trying to understand how we define front yard versus side yard, and if this is different because it's a corner lot. I guess I'm trying to understand, right? From what I can understand, the fence is extending out from, looks like, to me, the side of their property. So I'm just trying to understand, like.
It's forward to the front wall plane of the building. Yeah. Essentially the front of the building. On a corner, it's similar to a front yard, although there are, for the corner side of the property, there are some allowances to enclose the side of the property with a fence. But being that this is the front of the door, you're okay.
I see, okay.
The front of the fence comes forward, so that would be where the variance is required.
I see, so if the fence didn't extend out as far,
Correct.
that would make it different, I see. That was just an interpretation question. I have nothing for you guys, thank you.
And that actually leads to a question for you. Your property continues, so like the fence currently doesn't go all the way to the
No,
end of your
no,
property,
no.
it's only kind of
No,
halfway at the
we-
front?
We left space there purposely because of traffic, so when we back out, we can see if cars are coming, so we purposefully did that. But it's enough where their front door is right there, ours is here. We come out, or we're in our front yard, we don't see them, they don't see us.
I have a question. You're only going to replace that current fence, like the exact footprint as it stands?
We want to leave it there, we would
Okay.
like to leave it there the way it is.
Okay,
This is a retroactive.
okay.
They're
Yeah.
seeking a variance for something that's already done.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Because
been
it looks
already
pretty tall.
done.
Right,
Yeah.
it won't go any more than that.
Okay.
And it's all for the character of the neighborhood, it sounds like, so there are other fences in the neighborhood, do we have like general addresses? I know that's been for other applications we've looked at.
We don't have specific addresses right now. I can walk us through the neighborhood with Street View if you want to take a look, but.
Maybe just got like two on the record, I know that's come up in some of like our sign cases.
Like you're saying, the properties, they've provided photos for we have the addresses and they are in the neighborhood, is what you're asking?
The addresses are actually included with the photos,
Oh, great.
yeah.
one's across the street, 18 meters still Main Street.
That's directly across the street, yeah. That's a block up.
And you provided the address.
Yes, it's on the same side as our house, it's one block up.
And then the other one.
That is 4 houses up on the opposite side.
And there's addresses on file for where those houses are. Okay. I think that's your question,
Yeah, just for,
for our records.
yeah, the fairness for the other applications that we asked about.
Did the area variances for fences recently change or within the last 2 years? I remember hearing something about there being some change to the variances. I was just wondering if staff knows anything about that.
I mean, going back to what Lisa was sort of speaking to, when you have a side yard, you
Right.
can now impose a portion of the side yard.
Okay.
That you didn't before, but the front yard provisions are still.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the 4 feet and 60% opacity is like been the standard in Albany for a long time. For these things.
We used to get a lot of variances for the side yards.
Yes.
And we kind of finally just set things up for,
We're saying,
beyond that, people want to close their side yard to some degree. I think there are some compromises to step down or just driveway for machines.
any other questions, or should we have any public comments? Right?
I can read it, or I can pull it up on the board, or what do you prefer?
You do both.
All right. So this is from 2004. I'd like to give my support for the variance AB 2025-18 and AB 2025-19. This address is directly across the street from my house. I would like to see the fence stay as is, and the variance granted. And then this is from Charles and Mary Castell. Fence looks nice, and we have no problem with it.
And there's a gentleman in the back with your name.
This is
All right, do you wanna
This is
talk?
Michael Sweeney.
He's
This is our neighbor.
neighbor, he lives directly behind us.
Okay, I guess before we have you, we would have you go back, but do you want to provide public comment?
I'm open on this one. I've been neighbors with these guys for 20 plus years, so.
Okay. And I guess we just have I'm just gonna
Should
take
we
one
leave?
step back. I think you can sit here.
Okay.
Can you just come closer?
Yep.
Can you give us your name, address?
Certainly.
And then speak loudly, so it's all being recorded.
Okay, yeah, no, I was
comply with
a City of
laws and
Albany
stuff.
police officer for 24 years.
Yeah.
Made it through. Oh, strangely enough, I find myself back here like a bad penny. I worked across the street. In regards to these guys, these were the first neighbors I met.
Name and address.
I'm sorry, Michael J. Sweeney, 15 Dale Street, which is immediately to the west of the, the property in question. Like you said, 20 plus years there, never had any issues. The neighbors on these guys' poor other side, however, there's been problems up into the position where we actually, I was at work and I'm like, when I heard the address, I go, oh, again. So I'd have to go home and, work is work. Home life is another thing. You try and, you take your shoes off at the door and try and live a home life. It's okay to a certain extent when you have to deal with this day in and day out. When I'm already pulling 8 to 16 hours a day down here, makes it a little not for a friendly neighborhood environment. I understand. I think these guys have way more patience than I would ever have had. I kind of would have lost it. The gentleman that I bought my house from is another Albany police officer, but I didn't find out till after I bought the house there is a nuisance neighbor. Now it's been a 20-year mistake. There's no real option here. When I saw these guys put that fence up, I go, all right, that's cool. That's out of sight, out of mind. I thought it would work. go, I can see white, orange, and blue stripes in the driveway again. Okay, what now? And I'd have to, I didn't want to interrupt anybody else's call, let them handle it. Everybody's an adult here. And what happened? You get the fill in, I'm like, just don't stop. And it doesn't seem like there's a victory here. I thought this was a small victory. I understand. I get the city ordinance. I got a fence, goes all the way around. All right, 6 feet is 6 feet. I get it. I'm one of those neighbors. But good fences make good neighbors. I believe I heard that when I was growing up. I'm sure kind of most people here have. I honestly, coming from the police side, I didn't have an answer. I really didn't. I feel bad for the new officers that are going to these guys, trying to promise them a world, but got to be a realist. You have your property, but 10 feet away, you got their property. And how do you get these two to pass in the night without causing abrasion? I don't have an answer. Like I said, I'm just taking this from the outside. These guys, nobody's calling the cops on these guys. We can't say that on the next door over. I personally had interaction with it where I'm going, this is getting unprofessional. I retired. I'm good. I made it.
Sorry. thank
Wasn't
you.
me.
There's a few minutes.
Yeah,
Forgot to let
okay,
you
yeah, no,
know,
no.
So,
That's all.
that's the
Is
technical.
there a question?
But, no, any questions for?
No. No, thank you.
Wait,
Is your
Marta?
position, do you support the fence?
I'm sorry?
Are you you're in support of the fence?
I understand both sides.
Okay.
But being a cop, at that point, we weren't allowed to get involved in it. We can't get involved in civil matters. It would be criminality. We can't even breathe in ethics, you know what I mean? Personal opinion. You can give an opinion. Everybody's got one. Does it work? No. But when you live next to this and you sit back and watch it, sometimes things just don't work. And that's why we're here. I mean, I'm retired. These guys have been nothing but good to me for 20 plus years. This is the guy. He used to snowblower driveway. You know what I mean? It was that guy. You see somebody shoveling, you go, you know what? I got gas in the snowblower. Go inside. You go back thing, you don't think anything of it. It's just kind of the little neighborhood we're in. It works. We just did. We got Albany Med nurse next door. She never does her driveway. I did her driveway. I did Donna's next door, and it's just you don't think anything of it. Just take care of your neighbors. You don't have to be a jerk all the time. So that's just part of growing in Albany, Yay! And I retired and I'm still here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for listening.
Any other questions?
Can you put the picture back up, please, of the actual fence on Street 3? So the house next to the stop sign, that's your neighbor's house, correct?
The stop sign is in my front yard. But the neighbor's on the other side of that fence.
Okay, so you are the corner lot.
I am the corner lot.
I have a picture without the fence and them two yelling at us I took for when the cops would come. So this is what it was without the fence, and they're always pointing, swearing, and that's what it is. That's why we had to put that up.
And can you talk a little bit about the expense of putting up the fence and what process you went through?
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
I spent $8,000 on my fence.
You said 8.
8,000.
And what was the process, just in general, in terms of contractor?
Yeah, we, ASCO Fence Company. They put the side and over to the house in first. That was 6,000, and this 3-foot section here was another 1,800.
When he came, he was also pushed
Badger,
by,
yep.
pushed, badgered, the fence. What he did, because he had our.
He measured out.
He measured out with our deed, he measured everything out, and she would come out and just rip everything off and push him, and he was like, I'm gone.
He pounded posts in, at the property line, so we were inside. She'd come out, take them right out of the ground, throw them in the yard the next day. Yeah, there's there you can see it from a different angle.
Do you know how long the front yard is? I think you just mentioned that the fence is 3 foot on end of the front piece.
So the 3 sections,
So this is 3 foot, and
Nope.
then what is not, the rest of your front yard that's not fenced, that's like the rest, do you have an idea, even like approximate?
maybe 15
So it's
feet,
3
maybe.
foot of 15 is fenced. of the front yard.
It's, let's see, they're 8-foot sections. So
That's
324, so maybe another 15 feet to the road.
If we had to, you had to
So it's
be,
18 total, 3 foot of it is fenced.
Yes, 3 sections, yes.
and you had to be, 10 feet from the road,
Road.
right?
Yeah.
That fence, and it definitely is.
For the
Yes.
traffic.
There you can see the line between us and 459. It's not a straight line. There you go.
So, yeah.
We made it a straight line, even though
Right.
it's not a straight
We
line.
we actually brought it in. I didn't even bring this up. Before we put our fence up, they actually had a fence up. It was a little 3-foot wooden slat fence. And it was rotting and the slats would always fall in our yard. And that was the reason why we decided to put the back fence up. It's just a better look.
How long did it take for the fence to be installed?
They did it in a day.
One day, they knew
Yeah.
that we needed it, so
Yeah.
they were there and early in the morning and did it, boom.
I know you said there are other 6-foot fences in the neighborhood, but do any of the other fences, are they aligned or set up in a similar way? Because this fence
Yeah,
is kind
you
of
go to the picture.
Oh,
see,
the green.
a little bit-
They're in their front yards also. See, that's their front yard, that's their
To
front
their
yard.
side, yep.
That's a 6-foot fence, that's
And
their
that's-
front yard, that's their front yard, that's a 6-foot high fence running between those two properties.
I wonder, I don't know, Martha, sorry, put you on the spot, but maybe Brad, just planning, you guys may have some thoughts too. Variances usually run towards the property, so if either of these neighbors really, or like if, the applicants or the neighbors moved out, the variance would still go with the property, that there can be this, 3-foot fence, that doesn't meet the code in the front yard. But we can put conditions on variances. Could we condition a variance that if either the applicants or the neighbors right next door at whatever address, we can find the exact address, left, then the variance would not be anymore. That, to limit the variance to only so long as these two neighbors live there.
I'd be fine with that.
Variances attached to deeds, that would have to be
They run with the land.
transferable. Like, so when we're gonna file a variance, like.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if they're actually attached to deeds or whatever, but my understanding is variances do run with the land, right?
I thought you can't put a condition related to like the person, like who's in.
Because that's
That's
confusing.
my worry. You can do it a time limited variance, I believe, provided there's a justification for the time.
But you can't make it to, like,
Can't
limit it
say
to people,
definitively
like,
you
there's
can't.
constitutional issues, really, with that.
Yes,
Maybe
land use is not supposed to be who's in the property.
it's about to be
How
about
it's
the
used.
property.
Just came up with this and about thing.
Thank you.
Use that notes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I've asked for the planning department doing stat notes. So I think a lot of this was already covered to some degree. It was installed without a permit. It just learned that was about a year and a half. It sounds like after the fence was installed. Unusual, I'm not sure of the reasoning for the stop work order, but it was issued. At that point, they filed for the permit. Because of the nature of the work, it was referred to the planning department for consideration of height, capacity, and yard considerations. So we were to reject it, at which point the variance was filed. So I just want to call attention to, overarching principle variances, the benefit to the applicant versus the detriment to the neighborhood or the community. The applicant has established a clear benefit as far as the detriment to the community. The character of the neighborhood, I would say, is not inconsistent with the character of the neighborhood, although it is not a predominant characteristic either. There are, as shown, there were other fences in the neighborhood that did have some characteristics, and in some cases there are landscaping or other features that serve a similar purpose. In terms of alternatives considered, that is one of them. It kind of suggests that it does take time for plantings to fill in. So the immediate sort of concern here perhaps could be accomplished by landscaping. Also, it sounds like there was some other issues beyond that, as well as it does sound like the police were consulted in a number of instances. One of the resolutions suggested was to install 8 fences. Height. Next. Substantiality, somewhat subjective characteristic here, but oftentimes the purpose is privacy. 6-foot tall fence is what is the proposal, as well as a percent. Impact on the neighborhood, no substantial detriment to the environment that can be really established as far as we can see. The traffic issue was spoken to, and I don't think there's any obstruction of traffic. There is sort of a visual impairment, arguably, on the aesthetic character of the neighborhood. I think that's what's behind the requirement. Not coming into the front yards to see a sort of shed looking down the street. That said, this isn't a historically designated area of that nature. It is self-created to a certain degree, and the fence was installed without a permit, but that's often the case. I think we do have maybe, okay. Yeah, I mean, both variances, the criteria and the considerations are similar.
Thank you, John. Can I ask you, not specifically, but kind of, what is the ballpark age of your neighbor?
She's
I'm
61.
61, she's 62.
It's her and her daughter. Her daughter
Is a teacher here in
maybe
Albany.
30.
Yeah. We were friends at one time,
Yep.
We were really good friends.
Would you entertain a motion?
Sure.
Absent any other questions, I move to approve AB 2518.
Second?
I guess I'm wondering if we should add, if there's, I mean, maybe we can vote on that, but I also wanted to put out there if we wanted to consider putting a time limit, like 60, 90 years kind of thing. It seems like that would cover the age of the neighbors.
90?
Like, yeah, a 90-year time limit, which I feel like in 90 years, either of these neighbors would probably be moved on.
She will be gone.
On just the motion in general. So Lisa, how do you vote? Celeste, how do you vote?
Yes.
Serena?
Yes.
Martha?
Yeah.
Yes. So all in favor, variances granted. Thank you very
But we
much.
have
Oh,
another
we
one,
have-
we have another one.
Oh, yes,
too.
sorry.
Don't celebrate just yet.
Okay. It's so nice though to
I
hear.
move that we approve area variance 2025-19.
Second.
I vote yes, Martha?
Yes.
Serena?
Yes.
Celeste?
Yes.
Jacob? Yes. So both are granted, thank you.
Thank
Thank you very
you,
much.
thank you.
I wish
Are
you
we all
luck.
set?
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for your time, we appreciate you. God bless you all.
I think there's nothing else we did, then so motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, I also on my Facebook wall book, it is literally this thick.